mayors staying hunkered down in their communities. Mayor Philip Levine from the city of Miami Beach, he has been out there around the clock, not just in the last day or two, really all week, telling people to get out. Mr. Mayor, I know you're on the phone there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And Mayor, what are you seeing there on the city? Earlier this morning, Eugene and I were on TV from 5 a.m. till about 10:30 this morning. And even then, Ocean Drive looked like an absolute ghost town. Are you seeing that people did heed the warning? And for those who didn't, what do you want to tell them right now?
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, I'm very happy that it looked like a ghost town, and that's totally correct. I mean, literally Washington Avenue, you could roll a bowling ball down there, and there was no one there, and that was a great sight to see. You know, we started very early, way before the mandatory evacuation order. We came out, and I was very aggressive in saying, get out of Miami Beach. We told our visitors to leave. I never thought I'd be telling people not to come to Miami Beach or leave Miami Beach, but this was a first. And we were able to get a lot of people out. But I got to tell you, there's still people in Miami Beach, as you can imagine. Today I went to some of the senior centers and had to convince, some of the seniors to leave. One lady in particular, name was Anna, about 92 years old, and I said, Anna, you got to leave. And she said, Mayor, I'm not leaving. I got my water. I'm here at Rebecca Towers, and I don't want to leave. And I said, Anna, listen, here's my cell phone number. If you need something, you got to give me a call. And she turned to me, and she said, Mayor, here's my cell phone number. You call me if you need something. So, that's the spirit of Miami Beach. And but we've done the best we can at this point. If they're still in Miami Beach, they have to hunker down and make preparations for wherever they are.
Mayor, does that convincing get a little tougher now that we see that this is moving a little more towards the west? Are they going to say, well, look, Mayor, I told you we weren't going to be affected, or that we're not going to be affected as much as we thought we were, so maybe I'm doing okay if I just stay here?
Probably does. I think it does, but I think that we've kind of moved so many people out of Miami Beach over the last 4 or 5 days. But I agree. And the issue, of course, is that we know that these hurricane winds are not just in the eye of this hurricane. They spread out for something I heard like 80 miles. And you'll have hurricane winds for it's massive. This storm is so big, it will envelop South Florida. And if people think that if they don't get the eye, they don't see the effects, they're absolutely wrong.
So is it Mr. Mayor, is it the wind that worries you most, or are you still concerned about storm surge? And because you could be on the dirty side of things, you could also end up with a heavy rain event as well. What worries you most right now? I
agree with you. There's no question about it. As you know, flooding in Miami Beach, it's not something that we know how bad it is. We deal with it all the time. We deal with it on sunny day flooding when there's no rain at all. And so this is something which is absolutely concerning. It's very disruptive. We've put out pumps, portable pumps. We've put out portable generators. But even under the best conditions, you can't drain water for a hurricane, let alone a hurricane of this historic magnitude.
Mr. Mayor, just a quick follow-up. Is there an odd sense of guilt, though? Picking up on Eugene's question, for a long time it looked like this was going to be a hit on Miami Beach and the Keys were going to be spared. Now, as every hour passes, it looks like it's the Keys that are going to get hit, and Miami Beach is going to be a little bit better off. Your good luck ends up being somebody else's bad fortune. How do you reconcile that, just internally?
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, we don't know where this will go. It could shift back. It could wobble. It could move right back to the east. We don't know. This has been unpredictable from its start. So, of course, at this point right now, my concern are for Tampa, St. Petersburg, Naples, Sarasota, the West Coast, all the way up the top. And if they are to get hit severely, and I can promise you that Miami Beach and our first responders will be there to help out those cities.
And I'm glad you brought up I'm sorry, Lauren. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the fact that it could again move, because this thing has been moving so much. Is it going to go west? Is it going to go east? Is it a Category 4? Is it a Category 5? You'd think it was like dancing at a South Beach club. It's moving around so much. It has been keeping us on the edge for the past couple days. When you see that and you look at your response, how does this change or not the way that you guys will have, whether it's police or fire rescue or whoever else out there on the island through and after the storm?
We're going to keep everything status quo. Our plans are not changing. Until this storm passes Miami Beach and until we know that we're in the clear, our entire plan is to be vigilant and keep course. We must make sure that we protect the people And then, of course, after the storm leaves, we got to clear the roads, and we got to make sure that we can assess the situation. And after that, if we're lucky and we're spared, I think our focus will be on helping the other cities on the western coast of Florida.
And Mr. Mayor, we saw earlier this morning, or rather yesterday morning, since it is already Saturday, we saw a lot of the business owners on Ocean Drive, specifically Mango's, had that sign up and listing all the different hurricanes that the storm has weathered over the years, basically saying, bring it on, Irma. We'll be back bigger and better than ever. I know that this is sort of forward thinking here, moving after the storm, but what sorts of resources and help is the city able to provide to the business owners there in order to get the city back up and running? Because as you said, you never tell people to leave Miami Beach. This is one of the rare times where you do tell them that. What do you say to get people back to Miami Beach after this is all said and done?
Well, I think that, you know what, assuming that we get through this and we're able to get right back to business as fast as possible, I think we're going to put our marketing machine, we're going to get it rolling. I mean, people love Miami Beach, and if they know that Miami Beach has been spared, we're going to get people coming down immediately. Matter of fact, if the storm starts moving towards other areas of the western part of the state, who knows, maybe southern Florida will be a place where it becomes where they want to come for refuge, as opposed to what happened in, the last few days. But you know what? Miami Beach itself has been through a lot over the last 100 years. And whether it's Zika, whether it's flooding, whatever it may be, it always rebounds. It's the spirit of the city. It's a worldwide attraction, and we'll be able to persevere.
I wanted to ask you, what lessons did you learn this time around? What did you take away? What surprised you in the preparations for this storm? Either that you thought you did good or you thought that you did poorly.
Jim, I think that the key here was communication. We came out early. We said we want to protect our people, protect the city. We weren't worried about whether we were right, we were wrong, we called it too early, too late. We knew that the right thing to do was evacuate this island and get our people ready for an onslaught of a terrible storm. And I think right now, in retrospect, whether we get a direct hit or an indirect hit or no direct, it was the right call for us to do. You know what? It's like the old thing. You'd rather be safe than sorry. Now, as far as how our team has operated, I was talking to our city manager a little while ago. Our team came together. It's an unbelievable group of people who work with the city of Miami Beach in conjunction with an amazing group of residents that all came together so far. But we're not out of the woods yet, not by any means.
Well, just to follow up real quick, you need to come out very early encouraging your residents to leave. I'm wondering if you think the county made a mistake by not ordering a mandatory evacuation sooner, opening shelters sooner. We're still seeing some glitches trying to get people into shelters. Do you think that the county should have been a little quicker on the response?
No, you know what? I can't speak for the county. I can't speak for this county mayor. I actually like the county mayor very much, Carlos Jimenez. He worked very closely with our city. But you know what? The county has other concerns and other things that they have to deal with. We are a city. They're actually, dealing with multiple cities in their jurisdiction, running these shelters. So it's difficult for me to go out and say whether they should have gone earlier. All I know is that Miami Beach, we felt it was the right thing to do for us to, as a barrier island, to make sure our residents were able to leave as early as possible.
Yeah, you did really get ahead of the pack and telling everybody to leave, and I think you're right in saying that it doesn't matter what happens. It's at this point, it's too early to tell whether or not your call for those evacuations were perhaps too early or too late. You were trying to do the right thing to keep your residents safe. Looking at the time right now, being 12:25, I'll tell you, a few years ago, I might be in a line to get into a South Beach nightclub or walking around Ocean Drive. What is it looking like there right now? Have you had a chance to go outside? Are there still people milling about trying to maybe snap pictures of the boarded up buildings, or is it pretty quiet? And did people really listen to your concern and evacuation order and get out of there?
It's quiet. You can't believe how quiet it is. Matter of fact, Ocean Drive is so quiet. There are some of us that walked around and said, wow, we like Ocean Drive like this. Very interesting.
I bet the businesses aren't saying
yeah,
that, right?
they don't like it so much, no doubt. Mayor, we just heard from the mayor of Monroe County a short time ago before the top of the hour here at midnight. He says that he is staying put in Marathon. You obviously are going to be staying put in the city of Miami Beach, but we know that there are no shelters there. So residents, of course, they can't shelter there on the island. But as far as what you and other city officials are doing, what's the setup like? Do you have some sort of a command center? I think I heard that it was perhaps at Mount Sinai. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that where you will be to ride out the storm?
Absolutely. That's where I will be. Mount Sinai, we plan to go there tomorrow. and we'll have a skeletal command staff at Mount Sinai, as Mount Sinai is not going to be evacuating at all. But the majority of our first responders will be at the Terramach Center. They'll be across the bridge in the city of Miami, prepared to, once the storm is over, come right across the causeways and assist in clearing the roads, because clearing the roads are the #1 priority after the storm.
Mayor, I've been to Mount Sinai as a patient and as a visitor, as some of the office buildings and some of the suites there, I guess you could say. A lot of windows. Talk about the hurricane protection in that building. You say it's not going to close, so I imagine that it is ready to go to weather this type of storm. What sorts of safety precautions are in place there at the hospital?
So what they have done over the years, they've actually invested millions of dollars to harden the building to make it as hurricane-proof as possible. And that's because those windows you're talking about, they also have shutters that come down on most of the windows. One of the things that we did in the last couple of years, is I approved at the time, was to invest in Mount Sinai as a city. It's not ready yet, but Mount Sinai is building an entire new tower, and we're going to have an emergency operations center in that tower that's going to be state-of-the-art, and they're going to have an expanded new modern emergency room, and we'll be able to go there in the future, and this will be something that will be literally as good as it gets.
Mr. Mayor, I hate to be so crass as to bring up a thing such as politics at a time like this, but I'll be crass for a moment. You've made no secret of the fact that you've thought about potentially running for governor in a couple of years. Give me your evaluation of how you think Governor Scott has handled this crisis. Do you think he's done a good job?
I actually think Governor Scott has done a good job. And you know what? In situations like this, we give everybody the benefit of the doubt, because politics, there's no place for it when there's an emergency. Hurricanes aren't Republican and they're not Democrat, and storm surge certainly isn't Republican or Democrat. This is all about being a Floridian and about being a human being and doing what's right. And I think so far, I've seen nothing but positive things from the governor.
Anything you would have done differently?
No, and I wouldn't second guess someone who's in power right now. And as an executive, I think he's doing a fine job with this hurricane.
Okay. Mayor Philip Levine, thank you so much. Any closing thoughts for your Miami Beach residents who might be getting ready to hit the sack, as it is pretty late in the evening or early in the morning, if you want to put it that way?
All I can say is let's pray for a good day tomorrow. Let's hope this storm doesn't hit us directly. But nevertheless, I think our community is prepared.
Amen. Thank you. And we hope to be in touch with you over the next couple of days. Thank you.
Thank you all.
All righty.